it's been a while, so we'll see, how they shape up
5 months
against each other
specifically.
now. Yeah, it's been 5 months.
I mean, that's closer to 4.
4
5.
months. Yeah.
And Probe has definitely been looking on the up and up, regularly competing in ESL Pro Tour Asia. That's all I really got.
Yeah, he's been traveling a lot as well. Camps in America, and we'll see how this series turns out.
As we do spawn into the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning into the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream LE. It is going to be our Red Zerg representing Downfall Gaming, as well as the nation of India. It is going to be Demi Shark.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have Australian Protoss, arguably the best Australian player, period. It's kind of up there in the air between him and Seether, maybe. We have, representing Legacy Esports, it is Probe.
I mean, Seether did win a GPO.
Seether did win a GPO. He also won ESL Open Dare, so...
Yeah, he did. So Probe definitely looking to reclaim his title a little bit here.
That he is. And we'll see how he does against Demi. Again, it's a bit of a shame. I would say Demi was one of the strongest in the region, but he's been a little bit demotivated recently. Which is a bit of a shame to see. But I hope, with seeing all of these new tournaments for the region open up, that he feels, the drive again to compete, to practice and play.
It is always good to look optimistically that way. I think I was saying earlier that there's a little bit of a kind of a rivalry, as again, Probe and Demi don't play that often against one another, but I have just realized this. Downfall and Legacy do have a little bit of a rivalry going on over in the C region. They are about the most established teams over in that scene, or this scene, I should say. We'll see if Mind Freaks can change that soon.
Yeah, Mind Freaks, if you're unfamiliar, if you maybe recognize SYF Gaming, Mind Freaks acquired the SYF Gaming roster a couple of months ago now. And, they are like a new SE2 team, essentially. So it's pretty cool to see them invest in StarCraft in the OCE region, and we'll see how they do, especially how they shape up compared to the other established teams like Legacy Esports and Downfall Gaming.
Well, I can tell you one thing. No, that's false. I was gonna say Legacy and Downfall have not rebranded, but then I remembered. Oh wait, yeah, they have.
They've got new logos at least last year. And this kind of happens against just we got nothing but Lings. There's no probes in production. There's just Lings.
That wall is not a wall yet. Probe definitely known for liking to go a little greedy in the early game, but the Stalker should be able to fill that up.
Yeah, Demi a little bit supply block there, making
charges on the way, and I think we're about to see an all-in versus an all-in.
Exactly, Demi, he's committing to this 12 more Lings on the way. How Probe can defend his natural, there's still no shield battery, there's no second wall off, there it is.
But it still does leave the Stalker quite a bit exposed, does open up the surface area on top of the Cybercore. Probe is trying to fill up this hole as best he can, but I think he just opened up there, but it is a full wall.
What's important is, as opposed to Justice Simon, Warpgate did finish up, so he can warp in a couple of units here and there, but
I tell you one thing that Demi can do. He can also rally Lings all the way back. Almost all of the production has gone down. Actually, no, all of the production has gone down right now for Probe. Things are not looking too good here for our Australian player. The Lings are in, and I think we're about to see a GG sometime very soon.
Yeah, there's a nice hold position there from the workers, messing up the There's the shield battery's out of energy. The gateway is down.
This is the beginning of the end here. All of these Lings waddling in. Aye. GG is called. You cannot go Twilight Council versus Demi. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Again, Pro, he had an adept out. He had the to scout, but he just didn't quite get into the mineral line to see the worker count for Demi or all of those Lings flooding out. And I picked this series because I thought this was going to be the longer one. This could finish well before me, Micah, and Mighty Kiwi even finish game number 1.
How dare you assume Mio Micah to live up to his reputation?
Exactly. I would hope that they're 12 fooling each other as we speak. But GG. Well played, Demi. Whipping out the same build like twice this series. We saw him do the same thing against Justice Simon.
Yeah, pretty much. Do have to wonder if that's just map dependent, or if it's just based on Demi scouting, or what was going on there.
I remember,
but we are 2 for 2 so far for Twilight Council openings on Everdream. Not working out.
I did see that Demi seeing the wall of Justice Simon is what triggered him to do it against him. I didn't get to see if it was the same against Probe. And it could just be something that he just throws in best of threes, you know?
Specifically on Everdream. Do you wanna Yeah, a little bit of a shame that game didn't go on longer just in general, but definitely looked like we were gonna get a battle of all-ins there. Probe going for that charge with all-in. But, speaking of which, that is not what is going on now, because now we are on game number 2, possibly the final match in this best-of-3 semifinals. Here we have in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire, L-E-E-L-E, Ile. We have our Red Zug representing Downfall Gaming, all the way from India. It is Demi Shark.
Did you almost say America?
No.
And spawning in the corner of Eternal Empire, LE, we have the Australian Protoss representing Legacy. It is Probe.
All right, so the wall is gonna be a wall. Just be patient, calm down. It's all right. Demi doesn't even have his spawning pool finished.
So again, if you recall, in their best of 7 show map, Demi, he was very aggressive in their series. There were a lot of Ling floods. I think there was only one game went relatively long. All the others, like Demi, was he just put the gas on and he didn't let up at all.
I do remember the 2-base Muta game. That was something to behold.
And like every single time it worked, like Probe, he just wasn't ready for the amount of aggression coming out from Demi. So we could see that again this series. We will see. So far, nothing too telling.
It is 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
Stargate opener gonna be coming out from Probe, taking a page out of Justice Simon's book.
Yeah, there we have it. We do have a Stargate, which, is a lot more standard of an opening, as opposed to that charge all-in that he was trying to get into in game number 1. This time Probe does scout the 3rd base, so you should feel The Stargate, though, that Stalker is
It's
trying
getting
his
close,
best.
and he does scout the Stargate.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Unlike just Simon, Probe decides to go straight for the Oracle, does not want to give Demi any time to set up anti-air.
Yeah, in saying that though, Demi did manage to scout it, so he should have a relatively good defense set up for this. We do have some spores on the way, we do have queens as well. So far not too many queens, so again, this Oracle could find some damage, but it shouldn't be game ending. It shouldn't be. I'd be surprised if he gets like 4 or more.
Wait, hold up. My brain took a while to process that.
So it's all good. All right, the Oracle makes it to the 3rd base, but there is nothing here, only larva. The Brood War Zerg.
But it can do a little bit of damage on the eggs, does get chased away here, and Probe, unfortunately, can have to hightail it out of there.
Yeah.
Will he be able to scout the Roach Warren? That is something he absolutely wants to know whether it's being made, but does not get that scout up. Will get the Robo facility. So he is preparing.
This is looking like Demi versus Justice Time. Are we going to see a Spire come out from Demi at some point?
I think we will. I do think we will. Especially Probe. Well, it depends, right? Because Probe... No, I think we will see a Spire come out from Demi. But Demi will probably make Corruptors. As Probe, he is known for liking that Golden Armada build.
Yeah, he is known for his Stargate play. But we'll see if that Muta Switch does come into play later on in this game. It is kind of Demi's signature move now. He did whip it out against Justice Simon. He could do it again. You know, this is the last Protoss in the tournament. It's nothing but Zergs. Otherwise, it's Demi, Miyamika, and Mighty Kiwi. So why not whip out everything you have, you know? There it is!
Well, there's that Spire.
Oh my god.
Down. The run by not really getting too much done. It's more of a fake out there.
Yeah.
Probe to maybe overreact a little.
Again,
Demi
I think
pulls away.
We've been watching too much Demi. Like, even though we saw him throw down the Roach Warren, immediately I'm like, yo, this Roach Warren isn't for Roaches. Like, it's just to show Probe, hey, look, I'm going Roaches. When really...
Well, he is going to Galile.
Yeah. When really, like, the important tech of choice is that Spire that is hidden in the main base. Ooh, but it gets scouted.
It does get scouted by Probe. And Probe, he did halt his Stargate production. Looks like he is gonna bring it back in, as you do see Phoenixes being made on the way. Nice little hold position there on top of the Zerglings, just gonna prevent any mining coming out from the probes.
And this is the key difference between Probe and Justice Simon. Probe, he managed to get his hallucinations to scout the Spire, and now he can start to transition. He's starting his Phoenix production. We could see a second Stargate being thrown down as well, depending on how much he wants to commit. But it's also important to note that Demi knows that it got scouted. He saw the hallucinations get into his main base. Despite that, he's committing to this and he's getting Muta upgrades. Oh wait, do you think he's not going to make Mutas? Yeah, wait. Do you think he's going to make Corruptors instead?
I think he's going to go into Corrupted Brute Lord here.
Oh, let's calm down with the Brood Lords for now. We'll get there eventually.
Well, if you get Corruptors, you kind of have to go Brute Lords later on to the game.
Yeah.
Unless you transition very, very early. That being said, though, this isn't the worst. It's not the worst idea to go for Mutalisk. Probe is pretty set up on his defenses, but he only has 3 Phoenixes at the moment. He doesn't really have a lot of anti-air. He is going into Storm.
Yeah, I'm just so curious as to what Demi's going to decide to make, because he's getting Bane speed. He's going to be going Roach, Ravager, Bane in the interim. But so far, no Mutalisk or Corruptors. Like he's just kind of waiting with that tech.
He just wants to have the Spire, so it's there. He knows if he needs to use it, he can use it.
Yeah. I think
it's
the
now
wise decision.
He is just getting upgrades.
Yeah.
A little bit of lag here, as Demi is not in Australia.
Again, I do feel like it's it's smart that he didn't make anything from it because it did get scouted, right? So instead, he just has it in the background, waiting, biding its time. Because if he did go Mutalisk, well, Probe, he's ready for it, you know. So why go Mutalisk? So instead, you know, he's working up to Hive. He's potentially going to get a Greater Spire. You know, he just has it in the background while he just, you know, decides to go Roachling Bane. In the meantime, it's cool to see him adapt like that. I think we saw a similar thing with Oreo versus Demi.
Yeah, back in the day. We're coming back into this game. Circling does get a scout out, knows that it's a 4th base coming out from Probe. But for now, Demi is... he's pretty happy to just stick back and macro up. I think those stasis wards popping was a pretty good indication for Demi to know that Probe is a little afraid of him right now. Probe does not really want to move out with too much, and Demi's just gonna use this time to get his infrastructure, get his tech. As the Spire does complete, what are we gonna see out of this? Greater Spire! Told you it was gonna be Root Lords.
There it is. Greater Spire on the way, Corruptors on the way. Important to note that Probe, when he went in with his Phoenixes, he did spot the Infestation Pit. So even though I don't think he's seen the Spire, he does know that it is possible. Oh, there we go.
We were literally talking about that earlier.
Yeah, there's an observer already there in the main base, just has eyes on everything. So that also means that he may spot the Corruptors as they pop out as well.
And that will definitely help out quite a bit here, but now Demi is putting the pressure on, but mostly he's just looking to open up his supply. He does not want to have too many Roach Ravager as we get into the late game. Brute Lords cost quite a little bit of supply. Hello, Banelings.
Yeah, an unfortunate stasis trap there, catching all the Banelings.
This is not right. This is not exactly what you want.
Yeah.
This is Probe, please, calm down. Probe, calm down. Gonna be losing a couple of Zealots, but Zealots are definitely a very replaceable unit.
Yeah, a bit
Trailblazers is gonna be finishing up here. Greater Spire gonna be done. Probe does not want to give Demi any time to transition into his Brute Lords.
Yeah, and at this point I'm a little bit worried. Like, the push is coming, Storm is done, we have Blink on the way. Does Demi have enough to hold?
Well, it is just Ling Ravager right now and a couple of Corruptors, but those Corruptors aren't going to be very useful. Maybe they can take out the Warpism, but after that, yeah, the Warpism. I know words. Ooh, but this run by is absolutely huge here for Demi. Probe needs to make a decision. Go home and defend, or deal with, or push in all the way.
The Brood Lords are out.
The Brood Lords are out. And they do manage to chase this army of Probe, keep it back quite a bit.
Yeah, it's so important that Demi bought enough time for those Brood Lords, and he has to split his army carefully. Oh, the Birch Horn does go down. These Lings, they're just running around. They haven't like dealt any damage. They're just...
It's a little bit of a duel right now where neither player has really pulled the trigger. Probe is losing Archons, and that's definitely a unit you can't afford to lose right now. Yeah, not when you're playing against Corruptor Brute Lord.
That Stasis Trap catching a lot of Roaches. Meanwhile, there's a Ling run by at the 4th base of Probe, killing a handful of workers as well. There's actually nothing there now. Jesus Christ.
It was only 4 workers, but now Demi has driven Probe back, and he wants to take this all the way. The Stasis wards are about to expire, and there's not much here left for Probe. He's got a lot of storms banked up, but he needs to make the absolute most out of them. Demi just going full steam ahead with his Brute Lords to pick out units from range, with his Roaches to be dangerous on the ground.
The Blink on top of the army, though. Is he gonna get? He gets one Brood Lord.
Will it be enough? There is still quite a lot of storms still here, but the Banelings and the Roaches are going to be coming in. Warp Prism here in the main base of Demi will annihilate the main and could potentially snipe off a lot of tech.
Yeah,
but Demi isn't done.
Are out. Tempests are
the
out.
The Banelings are crashing everywhere. The Corruptors are taking out the air army of Probe. Demi's economy is not looking too good, but Probe's army isn't looking like anything, really.
Oh, you say that, but it looks like... yeah, Probe is going to be able to clean up All the Broodlords are going to go down, which is an expensive loss. Meanwhile, 18 workers go down in the natural of Demi as these Zealots, oh my god, they're just dealing so much damage. I think these Zealots are like, they're the MVP right now. They're just crippling Demi's economy.
Absolutely. Look at the worker count. GG is called, and Probe is going to take this into the ace match. Dumia Micro versus Mighty Kiwi might just well be done by the time we finish the series. We were doubting Probe a little bit after that game number 1, but now,
I mean, I was doubting Probe in that game.
He is showing off why. He is proving why he's the top-rated player in the ANZ region.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of it did come down to that War Prism harass, just completely decimating the main and the natural of Demi. Like, he just didn't have the economy to sustain himself after Probe held. And with that, yeah, he just tapped out. GG. He lost all his Broodlords, he lost all of his high-tech units, and having to rebuild, and he just didn't have anything. I think the Great Aspire was sniped off, the Roachhorn was sniped off as well. He just couldn't make an army.
No, he could not. That's why even though he was battering down the gates of Probe, he just had nothing he could make back at home to reinforce, to defend against, what, 4 Zealots?
Yeah, it was rough because, especially because there were corruptors hatching from the eggs, and they couldn't do anything because the Zealots were just killing everything. Like,
But we're gonna go into the ace match here. Our players are eager, our casters are eager, our observer and production is eager. Let's jump right on in.
Yeah, let's get into the ace match between these two. Best in India, best in Australia.
Vying for the title of best in Oceania. As they are tied even 1-1 sideways in this series. Here we have it, starting in the top left-hand corner of the map, in the top left-hand corner of Nightshade LE, otherwise known as Belladonna LA. Here we have the red Zerg representing Downfall Gaming, coming all the way from India. It is the 14-time GPO champion, looking to make his first finals in the ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare. It's Demi.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of Nightshade LE, we have the Australian Protoss making his debut in this tournament series. Will he be able to walk that royal road and make it to the finals? We have, representing Legacy Esports, Probe. Really, it's never mind. I was gonna say, like, if Demi could also walk the royal road, but he did play last week, so unfortunately doesn't quite meet the criteria. As, oh god, I didn't quite get to see. Oh, never mind. I didn't realize I was cutting out a lot. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in this series, especially because Demi, what he has done these past 2 games, he did the exact same thing against Justice Simon, and he won 2-0. So now that we're getting into game number 3, in this series, I don't know what Demi has in store for us. Like, we've already seen the Ling All-In, we've already seen the Muta Switch, and now here we have a very fast Roachhorn coming down from Demi, which we'll see if Probe is able to scout it or not and react in time to this. Fortunately, I haven't really seen if he was able to see anything with his probe. He did send out a probe scout. He hasn't seen anything yet. He does see the natural base location, and he does have a probe in the middle of the map just to see the roaches come out, but until then, Probe has no idea, as he is playing this pretty normally right now. We do have a Stargate opener for him, just like in game number 2. We'll see if he gets an Oracle, but even if he does, like... Oh.
I tend to agree.
You all good?
Yep. Probe is going Void Rays.
Oh, okay. I think I'm not too sure, but I think he may have spotted the roaches, which triggered Void Rays, which is what you need for defense against this sort of build. But again, the Stargate, it's in a precarious position. Like, it's in the front wall, so it could get like focused down.
It's primed to get sniped here. Demi bring his queen forward as well because he knows he needs the anti-air. This is... I'm curious to see how this goes. Unfortunately, the not Flux Veins, the other ability, Prismatic Alignment, not quite targeting down the units that they're particularly effective with. Demi is just holding down that Z key, and it could backfire on him here. If Demi is able to hold this, or no, if Probe is able to hold this, Demi is going to look into a very rough position, but the Queen is out, and it is looking to get some support here. Stargate does go down, and now the Lings have free reign into this natural base. I mean, taking out Probes left and right as the onslaught just doesn't stop here.
No, it doesn't.
Demi
I mean, the
quite going into
Stargate...
the main.
Yeah, the Stargate did go down, so there is only this one Void Ray for defense, but a couple of Stalkers do get warped in as well, and it looks like Probe could hold. I mean, all the shield batteries are out of energy. We'll see. Oh, it's a round on the Zealots, though.
They do manage to get a good surround there. And that's everything left on the ground here for Probe. He is relying so much on his air army, and it is working out. Demi has lost his queen, and this has no anti-air. And Probe is holding. He is living up to his reputation as a member of the Knights of the Protoss defense table. Demi is only now looking to transition out of this, and he did get a lot of damage done. But will it be enough?
Yeah, like, again, that build is meant to end the game, and sure, he killed a lot of workers, but Probe is still ahead in the worker count by six workers, and he's ahead in army count as well. To be fair, the Stargate did go down, and that is the one thing going for Demi, is that he's not really behind in tech, but there is still a Void Ray out of the map. There is still an Oracle as well, so Demi, he can transition out of this, but it's gonna be rough.
Rough like sand. Yes.
Thought you were gonna say like the American Terran player, but all right.
Yes. But yeah, Probe can't quite counterattack too much. He can do a little bit of poking here and there. He's trying to get some scouting information, just trying to get, whatever damage he can, really. But not really gonna find too much here. Can potentially contain Demi on 2 bases.
Yeah, a little bit interesting here from Probe, as he did rebuild his Stargate. He's throwing down more and more tech as well, a Twilight Council and a Robo facility on the way. Getting a little bit of everything, probably going to go for a Warp Prism, I imagine, to begin
Demi trying to go for a run by, but I'm not sure if that's the right call. Does pull back once he sees just how many units Probe has here on his second base.
Yeah.
Going to be able to secure his third. And Probe is really just looking to build into a Soul Train push, I think. That is a lot of sentries. Quite a good number of stalkers. Now he's switching into Immortals. We are starting to see Probe really come out of that aggression and just gonna be exploding in terms of his infrastructure.
Yeah, both players are kind of building up once again. Things are kind of slowed down. Demi, he's trying his best to try and get some damage done with these Lings, but Probe, his defense is so solid, he just has units where he needs them. And, oh, never mind, maybe he could slip into the natural?
Well, he's trying to, but a well-placed Adept is going to be enough to deter Demi.
That natural wall looks so awkward. There's just so much there.
Well... It's a little patchwork, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It was thrown together in the last second. But you know what? It held up.
It's true. It is pretty solid despite what it looks like. Meanwhile, we do have Probe going for these Haluk scouts, trying to see if, you know, there's a sneaky like Spire or Hydroden or some kind of tech, but, you know, it does confirm that there is nothing really out of the ordinary. Like, Demi,
he knows that
just...
Demi needs to catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oracle just gonna triple confirm that with a revelation on top of the queens.
Yeah, and this is kind of a tell.
But
All
Demi
these
is
queens
looking to
marching
try to end
across the map.
this.
Yeah, and it's such a shame that it got spotted by the Oracles, because now Probe knows that this push is coming, that the Queens are coming as well, that this is very committed, and now Probe has so much time to prepare.
Demi has stopped producing drones. He has been building up the energy on these Queens. He wants to end this. And how will Probe respond?
Yeah, I'll be so impressed if Demi can make something of this, because Probe has had so much time to ready himself.
Oh yeah, he needs to hit with everything. He can't afford to let his Zerglings go first, followed by his Roaches. He needs every single unit, including the Queens, to just be hammering down Probe's army, but the Queens are so slow off creep.
And the stasis
quite
war,
a bit
it's
of
like,
time.
if they get like juicy shots off, that could be it as well, so Demi has to be so careful how he engages.
Demi is coming into a concave right now. He is absolutely all in. The Biles are starting to hit quite a couple of shots. The Void Ray does go down, but the Immortals is still alive. Decent hit there with the Stasis Ward.
Yeah, the Queens though.
Fantastic force fields. Queens aren't a very kiteable unit, but just gonna lock them in there like that. The Roach Ravager Force though is still up and running, but the force field usage from Probe, it's absolutely a beautiful thing to behold. Probe is holding this slightly, but with every Zerg unit taken out, Probe is one step closer to victory. GG. And Probe is gonna be your finalist for the evening. Gonna be able to get his revenge from Demi over in all the way back in December.
Yeah, GG. Meanwhile, we do have confirmation that in the upper semis, Miyamika did win over Mighty Kiwi 2-1 as well. We will have a Vietnam versus Australia finals.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna go straight into that. And this is a hype matchup if I've ever seen one like. Probe, obviously, we said it before, we'll say it again, he is well deserving of his reputation as the top Australian player. Miyamika, on the other hand, you know, he is the top Vietnamese player, but in the overall SEA scene, he's not on top, but he is well regarded as somebody with a particular playstyle.
Yeah, I think most people agree that Miyamika is the best player in Southeast Asia. You know, there were, especially after Miyamika's win last week. Oh, sorry, no, he didn't win last week.
Joey, you got B-Stork.
Yeah,
well, I guess I would put Miyamika above both of them, but I'm trying to think. I'll say Miyamika is the top.
Yeah, like...
I was trying to dispute that, but in the end I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some other contenders, but especially recently with GPO as well, like Miyamika has been kind of dominant, or become more and more dominant as the weeks have gone by. And yeah, that's why it's cool to see him go up against the best in SEA versus the best in OCE.